They start on the ground. This is Stewart on first. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking. The guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
And that's how you get started and open up a game. Really well-blocked play. Picked up a nice chunk of yardage. If you're the offensive line, that's exactly what you've talked about all week long in your meetings. Establish the line of scrimmage and take control. And they gave their running back plenty of room to rumble.
So the penalty by the offense, and now they face a 1st and 15. From the gun, here's Newton. And to the tight end, Olsen, right side. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 11 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game. And the Broncos go to a nickel set on 3rd down.
Yeah, they've got an extra DB out there. From the 50, Newton. Gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. So the offense has it 1st and 10.
The goal of every offense is to move the chains, pick up first downs. A nice job finding an open receiver for a completion.
Time running out here on the play clock. Now Stewart on 1st down. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Now the Auburn alum, Artis Payne. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping to go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Here's Newton. He's nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The reigning Super Bowl MVP, Von Miller, in there to drop him with his first sack of 2016. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. Well, it's a night game, a lot of energy in this building, but the visiting team here, they get the ball in the opening drive, and they find a way to at least produce 3.
And things are just getting started, so you can't say that they've taken the momentum totally, but a good start towards seizing it in this game.
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. They come out here in the eye. They go play action here on 1st down. So he couldn't find his man there as it falls to the ground.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or 2 in and bats it away.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. 2nd and 10. It's Lynch again. And he gets it to C.J. Anderson. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. We heard them talk before the game about utilizing the intermediate passing game this week. It works for them there. They move the chains.
And we saw them work on it in practice as well. And most teams take a period at a time to work on different things. They put a couple of periods of work into the intermediate passing game, and now we know exactly why. They got the look that they were seeking, and they were able to take advantage of it.
On 1st down, it's Lynch. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. Lynch to throw again. He goes underneath for Anderson. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now 3rd down, less than a yard. In the backfield is Anderson. He's going to get the football. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. On to punt now, Britton Colquitt in his 7th season from Tennessee. Back deep for the Panthers, Ted Ginn. He'll send this away into the Rocky Mountain Night, and it's a good one. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. Here comes the defensive unit now for the Broncos as they get set here. And even though that last drive yielded points, it was a long field goal, so they probably weren't too upset about it. Although here, obviously, they'd like to give up 0.
Of course, that's the goal each and every time out. But when they make that type of a field goal that long, you almost give a little nod of respect to the kicker, like, congratulations, but you do feel pretty good about not giving up anything big.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can not give up anything big on this drive. And it's incomplete on the trickeration. Maybe time to put that play on the back burner for a while. That was nearly a disaster. On 2nd down, they run with Stewart. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature and make sure you don't get hurt.
17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. So he makes the grab, and the chains move forward.
Nice job by the offensive line, giving them time to complete that 1st down pass.
And the play clock's running down. Here's Newton. Benjamin with it over the middle. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. It's a gain of 5, and it'll make it 2nd down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Again, Newton. Newton on 3rd down. And almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up 4th.
Not only did they drop what looked like an interception in the end zone, they blew a golden opportunity to shift the momentum.
And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. This just a 24-yard attempt. And Godot's kick is right through. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. So that scores now on their first 2 possessions, but it's 6-0. Probably not the kind of scores they were hoping for.
No, not at all, but I think that they've shown that they can have some success against this defense. So they'll go back to the sideline knowing the points are going to be there for the taking.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. We get a look at the Carolina defense as they work their way into position. They're hoping to do what they did last time, force another punt. Last time it resulted in a field goal. We'll see if they can get another stop here, though.
And the best defenses are in the business of preventing points and creating points. And that's exactly what these guys did on their last possession. Why? Because they got off the field on 3 and out, turned the ball over to their offense after the punt, and let them roll downfield and put the ball through the post for a field goal.
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. 10, touchdown! C.J. Anderson, 73 yards. And the Broncos able to show off their quick strike ability. Well called, well blocked, and then he just made a great play. That was an athlete going a long way.
Yeah, how about the suddenness, too? Just getting there and taking off and going. For the defensive guys, plays like that really hurt.
On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. And he puts it through. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bad.
I don't know about that. Super toe. Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
This is Stewart again. And he will be knocked down hard, but he will have the first down. Call it a gain is 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offensive playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Now Newton on first down. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Newton's Super Bowl nemesis, Von Miller, in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night. And there they bring pressure from the inside, and they get home.
Yeah, hard to block everyone, isn't it? And on this play, someone did not get blocked. He's the one who got home.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Here's Newton now on 2nd down. And caught left side, Olsen. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 12 yards. And that'll make it 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Completes it to Dixon. They give him a gain of 37.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. They'll come out in the pistol. So that'll do it for the first quarter as we kick off another season. 7-6 our score. Charles and I back to Denver after this. With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers in possession of the football as we begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. On first down, it's Newton. And Olsen over the middle. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally.
And it's caught. Touchdown. Kelvin Benjamin there to make the grab. And the Panthers are once again going to retake the lead.
We see this route all the time, but when it's well executed, it's a beauty.
And it feels like the fade takes forever to develop, like that ball is just hanging in the air.
And the reason why is that the receiver is trying his best to work the defender inside and give himself space to fade away from him and catch the football. And that's exactly what happened there.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And his guys are going to start their drive right at the 20-yard line. Another drive getting ready to start here for Demaryius Thomas. A chance maybe here for them to get him more involved. They're down here on the scoreboard, and he's been very quiet.
And the silence has been deafening for his team. They don't need that at all. They need fireworks. They need explosive plays. They need him touching the football in any way possible. Maybe you go to some jet sweeps. Anything to get him going.
Yeah, something to get him the ball. We'll see if they can do it.
Coming to you.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. From the gun, it's Lynch. Surveying the field. And caught right side, Green. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and 10.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. They'll come out in the pistol. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. The 2015 Pro Bowler, K'Wan Short, coming hard that time. He's able to run him down for a loss of 12. Big sack on second down. Now the offense needs to convert here on third. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
The youngest member of the Colquitt punting dynasty, if you will. This is Britton Colquitt to punt it away. Rush comes and they block it. He gets us a touchdown, Carolina.
That score was not a game clincher by any stretch of the imagination. But the other team now has to be careful to not let this game begin to slip away.
Gano now to add the extra point. And the lead is now 13. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. This will be taken in at the 1. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Here's the Panthers defense as they get set to go again. Hope they didn't get too comfortable on the sideline. They had the 3 and out, the punt return for a touchdown. Boom, right back out there.
They're okay with that, though, because of what it led to. And let's face it, they keep a statistic, 4 3-and-outs. Most teams want to lead the league in those as well as in takeaways.
They'll be looking for another 3-and-out this time. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
So much of this game is focus and concentration. And whenever I see guys running the in route, I know that in the back of their mind, they're always wondering who's lurking inside that might put a big hit on them as they try and catch the ball.
So 2nd and 10 here. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Again, we'll see the pistol here. On 2nd down, Anderson. And some space here. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice game.
That is caught. He got 29 yards that time. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
On 1st down, it's Ledge. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. Back to the ground. This time it's Anderson. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Throwing right side, that's complete. Demaryius Thomas. And they do get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? The shotgun, it's Lynch. That's caught at the 3. So nothing there on the screen that time.
That means all that great acting they tried on offense went for naught, didn't it? Because you have to try and influence them. Make them think that you're doing something else. Make them think that they can get to the passer by letting them by and then setting up the screen and getting downfield. Didn't happen at all. Give a lot of credit to the defense for not tumbling to that one.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
An extra defensive back on the field here for 3rd and goal. Lynch with it on 3rd and goal. Finding time. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
And McManus able to put it through. And that cuts into the deficit. It's now 20-10. So the drive takes them inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. Another score here. They could really start to pull away. And this after really a shaky first quarter that they had.
Obviously not the way that you talk about starting when you're on the road. Everyone talks about a quick start, being sharp early.
But you'd rather finish strong.
Oh, definitely. And the good thing for them is they picked it up. They figured it out. And now they're feeling really good about going on the road and administering this type of a game on their opponent.
And looking for more points here.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
And he's got room. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. So it'll be first down here after the run. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
Draw play, Newton to Stewart. And he will have the first down, but he winds up paying for it pretty good. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
For so many years, I was convinced it was a myth, because you always hear about the smaller running back. Oh, he gets lost, you can't find him, and sometimes that's part of his genius. But it's true. You get behind big offensive linemen, the defensive line guys trying to find him, trying to peek around people to see him, and he gets lost. But this guy gets lost in a good way for his offense, picking up big yardage.
They'll run it now out of the gun. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to get the first down as he covers up after a pretty good shot there. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Again, we'll see the pistol here. Here's Hardest Payne. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Well, in that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
It's already 2nd and 12. The defense hoping to push them back more. They'll try the air now with Newton. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Again on the ground with Hardest Payne. So he got 3 of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back to Denver right after this. Coming up at this and every halftime this season, we'll be checking in with Larry Ridley in Orlando for highlights and analysis of our first half.
LR, that's my man.
That's your guy. On 3rd down, Jonathan Stewart. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 4th down. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. And Gano's kick is right through. And that will stretch the lead up to 13. And Charles, they get the field goal. Took him a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run at them. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Demaryius Thomas gets set to go again on offense. He's been good so far to this point in the second quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job. Increase things. More touches, more opportunities. Maybe that can reverse things on the scoreboard for them.
They'll try to ratchet things up then maybe here in the second quarter. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll be a second down.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. On second down, here's Lynch. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. They'll throw on first down with Lynch. And on the catch right side, this is Sanders. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Give him 8 on the play, and it'll be second down. Off the play fake, here's Lynch. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Here's Lynch to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually an excellent target and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
So here's Britton Colquitt and the Denver punt team. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Seven yards to go on second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a third and about 5. And the offense in that middle ground here on third down. 5 yards to go. Newton on third down. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. And he will be knocked down hard, but he will have the first down. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Smiles, everyone, smiles, because when Cam Newton and Greg Olsen hook up like they've been doing throughout this game, that's one big reason why they're winning.
What makes Greg Olsen so tough to cover?
I think he really is a wide receiver in a tight end's body. He runs his routes with such great precision and some physical toughness, and he really fights and competes for the ball.
And then, of course, it helps to have Cam Newton throwing it to you. Now a first down throw for Newton. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
Let's just make this one simple. Could he be any more open than he was on that play?
Yeah, they lost him going to the outside.
Hard to believe because you go through your accounting on each and every defensive snap. Who's got who, what defense you're in. That was totally a blown coverage.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. Newton turns and hands to Stewart. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. On 1st and 10, Newton. And Olsen over the middle. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and it'll be second and about a yard. So we have reached halftime here in the Thursday night opener. As we send you on down to our studios in Orlando, where standing by is Larry Ridley with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Charles. And welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. The Broncos are on the bad end of things at home. We'll have 2 quarters to turn it around. The Panthers came in prepared for this game, and it shows in the way they've played. So that'll do it for us here in Orlando. For the call of the second half, let's hand it back over to Brandon and Charles. Brandon.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Let's see what the offense comes with here, 2nd and 8.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
A dump off to Anderson. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and they're going to have a 3rd down. It's 3rd down, 6 yards to go for the offense. Thomas, the lone receiver, left. On 3rd down, Lynch. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. And now following that sack, looks like we've got an injured man down there on the field. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And the Panthers will get it here as they take possession. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Hey, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
They keep it on the ground again to Stewart. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield.
On offense, the guy that you want to have the best eyes on the field are your quarterbacks. So you can see everything pre-snap, and then, of course, as the play develops. On defense, oftentimes it's the linebacker. And on this play, his eyes took him right to the ball. Then he made a nice tackle. We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Mike Cyphers now in his 14th season on to punt it away. Emmanuel Sanders deep for the Broncos. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. We get a look at the Panthers defense now. Their coordinator has to like what he has seen so far, and you, as a former defensive guy, you have to like what you've seen from this crew.
The way that they're playing this half, whether it was adjustments, changes, or just simply picking up the pace and playing to their potential, it is fun to see when a defense has an offense in check.
They've got him in check so far here. They start the drive with Anderson, and he'll be taken down right around the 27. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Now it's the backup Sanchez. Over the middle, open is Thomas. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
First down. Here's the run with Anderson. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
It's caught outright by Graham. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
How about the timing on that one, where they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
Anderson. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Really good, skillful, tough running throughout this contest. Picked up first down after first down. He's got to have a nickname, doesn't he? How about the human first down machine? I think that fits.
They come up in an offset eye. Ronnie Hillman in there. He gets the carry. And he'll be out of bounds all the way down at the 6. A good pickup there at 22.
When big runs occur, sometimes there's a sense that things are pretty easy, and that one carried them down inside the 10. But getting into the end zone now, that won't be easy at all because you're going to face different defenses and not as much real estate to work with. Will they be able to run it, or will they have to throw it in order to try and score?
So So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Sanchez now to throw. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. It's a loss of 4, and now it's 2nd and goal.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
So the defense gets to the quarterback. Now the offense backed up on 2nd down. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. This will be caught just inside the 10. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that'll make it 3rd and goal.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Now Sanchez on 3rd and goal. He's got time. So a no-go there on the pass play means it's 4th down.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And McManus able to put it through, and that gets him back within 10. And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
That's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. On the return, it's Ted Ginn Jr. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked.
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays for one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
When you've got a big guy like that in your backfield who runs as a big man and breaks tackles, it is paramount for a defense to have extra defenders in his vicinity at all times. Because you've got to figure he's going to break through the first guy. You're going to need tacklers 2, 3, 4 in order to get him down. Because if you don't, he can continue to run and run it really, really well.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
But really, that was no surprise there. They've been running it well all game. And I know goals change all the time, but any team will take that type of run each and every time.
Stewart is the lone setback. He'll get the football here. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. 1st level defensive line, 2nd level linebackers, 3rd level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a 1st level run, and it was stopped by a 2nd level player.
Jonathan Stewart, his 20th carry. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Start is Payne. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46.
Partner, that defensive win reminds me of something a coach of mine used to say all the time. If you really want it, you'll find a way to go get it. And the defense did exactly that.
On fourth down, here's the veteran Mike Cyphers to punt this away. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
A gain of 3, second down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. Another pistol look here. To throw on second down is Sanchez. Airing it deep for Fowler. It got his man complete. Touchdown. Benny Fowler, 77 yards. And the Broncos draw a bit closer. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
McManus now for the extra point. And the lead is down to a field goal now. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. They had that first half lead, but they have been shut down here in this third quarter, so time to retool a bit.
And probably need to tap into that emotional vein that gets them back to really playing hard and effectively. Because a lot of times we think it's just play calls and this isn't working and they're shutting them down. Sometimes when you get a lead, you lose your edge. You don't play quite as hard. That's what they're looking for here.
Try to get that edge back as they've watched this lead shrink a little. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
From our vantage point, that was just one bad play by the offensive line in a series of really good ones tonight. But I know that they're going to be really ticked off. It's a lot like a baseball pitcher losing a no-hitter late in the game.
And the offense behind the chains here a touch on 2nd and 11. Play clock winding down. Newton gives off to Stewart. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2.
You've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They come out here in the eye. And not much doing. He'll get this only up to about the 36. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Now a play fake here on first down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And Demaryius Thomas, what a catch there. And all the way in for the touchdown. Demaryius Thomas, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Broncos have taken the lead here in the fourth quarter.
Partner, one of the cardinal rules of defense is that if you're in position to make a tackle, you need to make it.
Well, and if you can't make the tackle before that, you just got to knock that ball down, right?
Yeah, something has to happen because we saw the end result there. Missed tackle, he goes all the way. It takes it for a touchdown.
Now McManus to tack on the extra point. And that will make this a 4-point game. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Derek Wolfe in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. To throw on second down is Newton. And caught left side, Olsen. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 10.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. He's got time in the pocket. So they're unsuccessful there, hooking up on the pass.
That's a really fine play there because anytime you see a comeback route, that means you cannot just stay in one spot and make a play on the ball. You've got to move your feet and move with the receiver, and that's exactly what he did.
So now here's Mike Cyphers to kick this one away. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Back to the air. Sanchez on 2nd down. And he's got some space here. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Call it a 3-yard gain. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. And the offense needs 7 out of this play on 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Sanchez surveying the field. And he's got it complete to Fowler. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here's Britton Colquitt to punt this one away. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Unable to connect there on the pass play.
There's so much precision in an offense, especially when you're throwing the ball. And in an out route, plenty of it. How about the quarterback hitting his back foot, ball's out of his hands, receiver making his break, making his cut. He's got to time up perfectly. Not always easy to do.
Just let him a little too much.
Yeah, I remember back in the good old days, I was talking to a quarterback, and he said everything they did was on the count system. So when he took a snap, he counted in his head for certain routes, different time frames for each one, and he knew if the ball wasn't out of his hand at that point, he'd better eat it because the play was dead.
So he couldn't find his man there as it falls to the ground. So a ways to go here on 3rd and 10. They go play action with Stewart. Now Newton. They find some open field here and avoids the contact by sliding. It's a gain of 9 yards, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. And the punter stands ready. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And Sanders now to return. 12 yards on the return that time. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. The Panthers defense gearing up as they take the field. Their stay on the field last time was short-lived with a 3-and-out. See if they can get some more of that.
And ordinarily, you want to be on the field playing, right? The 3-and-outs, that's almost gold to a defense. Get to the bench, get some rest, turn the ball over to your offense.
We'll see what they can do here, see if they can force another 3-and-out. Here's Anderson as they begin this series on the ground. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
To throw on 2nd down is Sanchez. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
They come out here in the eye. They give it to Anderson. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Now Sanchez finding time. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
Incomplete pass on 2nd down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on 3rd.
Check, check, check.
Sanchez on 3rd down. And this is caught. Demaryius Thomas. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
One of the feature points of the end route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
Ready, left 35.
Back to the ground, Anderson. Shedding the tackler, and it gives him some room. And down inside the 15 he goes. Give him 18 on that one.
When a coaching staff sees their team run the ball this successfully in the 4th quarter, they're really excited because you can plan for a running game all you want and want to press that advantage when you get it. But for the most part, it's a little bit of a surprise. And right now, they've got to keep that going, want to continue to grind out the clock because it's definitely in their favor at this stage of the game. Can they close the game out and continue to do exactly what we just saw there, and that's run the football?
Check, check, check.
Back to the ground. This time it's Hillman. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
How about the defense not hanging their heads from the previous play where they were beat for a big run, came back on the very next down, and made a play defensively that was to their credit.
So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's 2nd down. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Here's Sanchez. So they're unsuccessful there, hooking up on the pass. And the offense looking to pick up the 1st down after the 2nd down incompletion.
3rd and 11, 5 in the secondary now.
Nickel look. Now they'll run on the draw. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And McManus able to put it through, and that'll make this a 7-point game. So, Charles, I think from a defensive perspective, you have to look at that field goal there and consider it a win.
You were able to keep them within a touchdown, so no question about it. That was the kind of stand that keeps you in ball games.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And this will be a touchback, so a first chance here in week 1 to see the ball be brought out with the new rule to the 25-yard line. Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And looked like some movement there. Let's get the call.
False start, offense.
The shotgun snap for Newton. Looking for the tight end, Olsen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And he will have a touchdown. So a pick 6 there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs.
almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick six going the other way.
Now McManus for the extra point. And the lead is up to 14. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack. DeMarcus Ware coming in from that outside linebacker spot to bury him for a loss of 7.
Yeah, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. 9 yards on the pickup that time, so he got more than half of it back, but it's still a 3rd and 8.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. Gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. And he will have the 1st down, but he winds up paying for it pretty good. And a nice pitch and catch to pick up the reception against man coverage.
Both of them read how much yardage they needed, figured what they had to do, and were able to beat the man coverage for the completion.
On 1st and 10, Newton. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Aqib Talib. And he's going to be out of bounds down to the 25.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
And now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. The best way to do it, touchdowns.
And he doesn't quite make it. They do stop him, but he gets it all the way down to the 1.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting into the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
And the next snap coming inside the red zone here. So now it's 1st and goal. They'll run for it with Anderson. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. C.J. Anderson, already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Broncos use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. So the 2nd time tonight he has hit the end zone, Charles.
Some people just have a natural nose for the end zone, and he's exhibiting that here in this game. big-time job, and, of course, he's got to pat the backs of the offensive line.
Yeah, they can't be lost in the shuffle. They're vital. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Now the Broncos defense coming back onto the field. Now the interception for them the last time, and that turned into 6 points.
You think during their break they reminded the offense that, hey, we helped you guys out a little bit, right? You know, they want to see if they can do it again for them. They're putting together an entire team game by how they're playing on defense.
So the interception the last drive, what will happen here? They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he goes out of bounds across the 40-yard line. They'll get 16 yards there.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Newton on first down. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. They tried to swing it out left into the flat, but the defense, they were very principled there.
It felt very West Coast offense, didn't it? You know their expression, right? On a West Coast offense, when they throw the ball, it's either going to be a touchdown or a check down, meaning they like to press it downfield. If they don't have it, swing it out, which is exactly what we saw there. But how about the great pursuit and tackle to make a nice play?
Quick hitter here, it's complete. Call it a gain of 5, and that'll bring up a third down. Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
3rd and 5, so they bring in an extra defensive back.
Expecting pass. They'll run it now out of the gun. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Well, depending on the temperament of the head coach, he's either turning to the bench and screaming, where was that all game? Or maybe he's just kind of keeping it to himself and saying, okay, it's something to build on, and a positive comes out of a bad game because those are going to happen from time to time. We'll see how he gets his team ready to go in the future. But that run right there, that's what they were looking for.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. They go back to Stewart on first. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from toting the rock that much.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
Defense has set themselves up nicely. 3rd and 10 now. Another pistol look here. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Completes it to Dixon. And he's going to get this inside the 30. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So it's Panther football. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Now a first down throw for Newton. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. To the air again, Newton. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
He's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped, altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now fourth down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
They'll give him a yard on the play, and they're able to convert here on 4th and inches. And quickly they get to the line. Newton now to throw. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, and that'll make this a second down.
It is hard in zone coverage to stop a curl route because when they see it, they just try and find the open spot and sit down.
Yeah, we always talk about finding the soft spot in the zone. What's the key to doing that? How do you do it?
You have to read what the coverage is. Is it 2 deep? Is it 3 deep? Because then you know where the linebackers are going to drop, what spots on the field they naturally get to, and you find that open space, and then you're in sync with your quarterback. He should be reading the exact same thing, and they put the ball right on you.
Here's Newton. Unable to connect there on the pass play. Just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Throwing on third down, Newton. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down. A field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4th. Desperation time. Newton, 4th down. And it is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Broncos will take over on downs. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
The Panthers defense, they make their way back out there now. They have not had their best performance tonight in this one, partner.
And you know it's tough, and I don't know how it is for you, but building towards a night game, that crescendo.
I didn't play.
But
you tell me.
But us getting ready to broadcast. Sometimes you want to do it a little bit earlier, right? You feel your peak coming. Maybe that's what happened with them, that somewhere in the day they should have kicked off earlier because by the time we got to the night, things tended to fall flat.
Kind of running there at your own risk against that 4-3 and that big line, aren't you?
Yeah, and I don't really run it against a good 4-3 team that well because I've got to get those guys on the move a little bit. If you're a static running team, meaning you just want to run it in the middle, you may have some trouble against good defensive tackles. That's what we just saw on that play. No gain.
Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Well, week 1 behind us now. Always tough to start the season on the losing side.
It is, but you know, the teams that know how to recover, that understand it's just week 1, are the teams that will sustain and end up having a good season.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. The Broncos are winners in their first game of their title defense as we say goodnight from Denver.